Gagan Japra, and this semester I interned at MBA Scientific Consultants. So some of the duties and responsibilities I had in my internship was conducting reference sample data collection on a Fourier transform infrared microscope, and I just continued this from last semester onto this semester. However, I was able to look at more reference samples such as plastics as well as AFA fibers. Another thing I did was I digitally transferred projects sample data into new reference sample folders. They had stated that it was pretty difficult for them to access information regarding previous projects they did with the reference samples, so I just made it more efficient for them. And lastly, I organized reference samples from previous projects, and this is the actual reference sample, so the different kind of molecules and compounds they tested on, I organized those so that it was better for them to access. So the number of hours I completed at my internship was 77 hours, and all of those hours are very, very enjoyable, and I learned a lot. Some of the learning experiences I had was I was able to shadow multiple lab analysts throughout the semester, especially on the polarized light microscope, the scanning electron microscope, the transmission electron microscope, and Raman microscopy. And I also learned a lot about collaboration, teamwork, where I had to ask my colleagues a lot of questions regarding the projects I had to complete and whether I was doing it right or not. And communication, again, I had to ask a lot of questions. I had to communicate with my mentor regarding the different kinds of lab safety I needed to follow. And lastly, I learned how to analyze data and results from the data I collected through the microscopes. And as you can see on the pictures on the bottom, the picture on the left is something that you would collect on a scanning electron microscope. On the right, that's what a polarized light microscope looks like. So the effect on my future regarding this internship is definitely a pro, because being able to understand the data that I received from the microscopic analysis that I conducted is very, very imperative in medicinal research, especially looking at different kinds of compounds in the body. And it was a lot of efficient problem solving through collaboration, which you definitely need in the medical field, trying to communicate with others around you. The hiring outlook for research scientists is definitely growing. Currently, the projected employment of a research scientist is around 7%, so there's definitely a need for research scientists in the job field. My most memorable experience is being able to shadow my colleagues conducting data on the PLM, TEM, and the other types of microscopes. One of the best experiences I had was when one of my colleagues named Bill, he had a little bit of free time after completing his project, and he allowed me to see acetaminophen under a polarized light microscope. And as you can see on the pictures on the bottom, this is the data that I collected, and that's what acetaminophen looks under a polarized light microscope, which is very, very interesting how something that you normally use in your day-to-day lives looks like this under a microscope. And some personal learning and growth. I learned a lot about communication and talking with others regarding any kind of problems I had or challenges, collaboration, and I mastered how to collect data on an infrared microscope, especially being able to experience IR data collection both last semester and this semester. And I want to thank you, MBA Scientific Consultants, for allowing me to have such a great experience both semesters of my Quest internship.